Hi and hello. My name is Harkheindzel Omiyale. I am a development and empowerment strategist and also the spirit mentalist. And today, like I always say, I want to talk about something that's very important. How important can that be? It is so an important part of life that without it, everything as we know it would be in disarray, would be in a quagmire, and it's not really going to work the way life is supposed to be. What is this that I want to talk about? Simple. I'm talking about the system of power and influence. I did a bit of research some time ago, and upon all of my findings, I realized that the twin principle through which almost everything in the world and everything in the universe exists and moves and is activated is this principles of power and influence. Now, power usually does talk a bit more about your innate systems and structures and universe, while influence really does talk about how you go the world without you and how things be. But it's important for you to also realize that there is a concord between power and influence. It is very difficult for you to try to amass or get influence in any way if you've not started from the path of personal power. That's why many people who seem to have power today have so much leveraged it on things outside of them that it's just a few moments to being shattered. When the things outside of them are shattered by accidents or disasters, there is no way they can recreate that life. And that means that they do not have personal power. And we also have some people on the other hand that do have power, but they think they do. But they've not been able to translate that power into what we know as influence. So even though you're wise, even though it seems that you have resources, but you're not able to make the best with these resources in order to influence positive change in the world. Okay, so one of the things I'll be talking about in the next iMentor session for the crystallizers is the systems of power and influence. What does this really mean? It means quite a lot though. You must be able to understand how to factor the things that are within you. But you can't just do that by one side. It's also important for you to note that you must respond to the world outside of you. Now, I know people who are meditative, contemplative, and all of that, and they do a lot of meditation. And they've got great things happening inside of them. But they're not able to translate that into the world outside of them. And they become a disaster. But I know of all the people who so much leverages on the world without, that they forget the power within. But it is important for you to strike and find the balance. Now, there is a balance in all of these things. Having power in your right hand, having influence on your left, and knowing how to juggle them effectively in such a vice and in such a way that you become the best possible version of yourself. Now, I have to tell you, this is not some motivational stuff. There's going to be lots of work to do. It will push you to the limit. It will break you some of your ideologies and belief systems. Because for you to exercise and understand personal power, you have to break yourself open and recreate yourself as a result. And for you to really master influence, you need to understand how the power of perception and culture and politics brings about wealth, brings about resources, and brings about physical, tangible manifestation of our ideas and thoughts. So it's really going to be an interesting session, but it's really going to be difficult. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be difficult to scare you. I'm saying it is difficult because that is the reality. Why? If it was simple, everyone in the world will be living at their best and possible version of themselves. But that is not the case right now because it's not easy. Okay? You need to push against the wind. You need to dive against the waves. You need to go against the status quo and try to venture into unconventional thinking. It is only when you're ready to do that you can begin to see things from a different perspective. So there will be lots of trainings, but more importantly, there will be more sessions and tasks where you have to do things on your own, by yourself, and learn these things. But the reason I think this is coming at such a time as this is it's an urgent season. Lots of things are going to begin to happen so fast that if you're not ready, if you're not balanced, if you're not structured, and if you do not have a system through which your life is being driven with, you will not be able to stand in the days to come. And sadly, the days are here already. So you must know what to do about them in order to live the best possible version of yourself. I'm not going to talk much about it here. But if you're interested in learning more about the systems of power and influence, hit me up, chat me up, and let's see how we can drive this conversation further. Now, the training I will be having will be starting in October, the third week in October. But you will begin to get more information about it much later. And I just felt it's necessary for me to push this frequency into the universe and see who is really going to resonate with it. Will that be you? Now, the response depends on the choice you make right after now. Thank you for listening. My name is Harkheindzel Omiyale. I'd always say this. May you always walk in the faith of the Lord, unleashing Soteria, Lambano Soteria.